Today we get our first ever taste of European football as a club as we face Lazio in one of the qualifying rounds for the Europa League. I'm not that confident. This is probably our first and last taste for a little while. But as a way to make us all feel better after we inevitably get knocked out of Europe in July, I am streaming tonight over on Twitch, twitch.tv/LOLLUJO FM. So come on over to Twitch, 9 o'clock tonight, and we can all hang out and make ourselves feel better after... I think we're probably going to be humiliated today. Hello and welcome to part 132 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have those two Europa League qualifying games against Lazio. Even if, in the unlikely event we make it past Lazio, it's only the second qualifying round. There's two more qualifying rounds after this. And we've got Lazio in this one. It's only going to get harder from here. I don't think we're making it into the Europa League group stages, but, you know, we can dream, we can try. This is the team we're going to put out there to try and do it. Yes, we are using the diamond with a positive mentality away from home at Lazio in Europe, because I don't learn. But we have got a few new faces as part of it. New boy Saidi is going to be in goal. Our wonder kid goalkeeper, who's a natural sweeper keeper. Love a sweeper keeper, can actually finally start using one again. So he's going to be in goal. A back four of Pagano, new boy Lee, alongside Sands. They both want to be covering centre-backs. We did use two covering centre-backs with Sevilla, so I'm hoping it's not a problem. If it looks like a problem, one of them is just going to have to either play as a defender rather than a coverer, which neither of them want to do. It's quite significant, not really suitable for it for both of them. Or we've got Van der Horst or Turner or Noble all as options who can come in and play as normal defenders there. So this might not be our partnership going forward, but I think they're the two best defenders we've got at the club for now. Riviere at right back, although he doesn't want to be here, but the fact we're cup tying him, I don't know if we are cup tying him, but hopefully playing him in Europe will scare Liverpool off because they keep offering us money for him. A midfield of Harrison, Bishop in front of him with new boy Curti playing as the Mazzala, Manu in behind Kano and new boy Presedo, who has been there, done it all for Manchester United. I've not used a deep lying forward for a long time, but it's what he wants to be. He can play as a complete forward if it looks like it's not working, but we may as well play one of the best, or certainly someone who has been one of the best players in the world. We may as well play him in his best position, and you never know, it might get Manu more involved. It's a bit experimental today, which is a little bit worrisome going into such a big game. We got so excited when we qualified, or I got so excited when we qualified for Europe. There were a few people in the comments at the time saying, Kev, you know, you're just going into the qualifying rounds. You're probably still not going to play in Europe. Well, now I get it. We're the underdogs. Let's just see what happens. Let's enjoy it. Let's face it, if nothing else, the good people of home have got a nice day out in Rome in the middle of July. And that's a lovely day out in the middle of July. A little trip to Rome, catch a football match in the evening. Doesn't really matter if we win or lose, because we've had a nice day out in Rome. Everybody's happy. Right, Manu plays it across to Riviere. Riviere looking for the cross. In fact, finds Curti. First chance to have a look at Curti. Harrison plays it into Manu. Manu from range hits the post with the first shot of the game. Sands is still on throws. I've redone my set pieces as well. I admit I did just auto do each of them. And clearly Sands is very good at taking throws, which might not be a huge issue with Lee playing as a covering centre-back. I probably need to take Sands off of throw-ins. Pagano can take them. He'll be fine. Right, Riviere, a sensible player taking a throw on the other side. It's with Bishop. Bishop finds Manu. Manu from range. Manu has scored Holme's first ever goal in European football. And against all odds, 40 minutes into this tie, it's Lazio 0, Holme 1. Manu is just getting better and better and better all the time. We've lost a few heroes this summer, but I think we've got the hero for the next 5 years is a part of this team and having a cracking game today. Manu plays it back to Harrison, eventually finds Curti and then Bishop. Riviere to cross again, does cross this time. Kano scores and we're 2-0 up before half time, and I don't understand what's going on. I don't know up from down. This is Lazio. Lazio finished just narrowly outside the Champions League places in Serie A last season and the season before. This is a good Lazio team. This isn't a ropey old mid-table Lazio team. We're ropey old mid-table home. We've never finished higher than 10th in the Premier League. We had a bit of a fluky cup win to get here. We've turned up in Rome, having our lovely day out, and we're 2-0 up at half-time. I'm still not confident we're going to make it through this tie, but at 2-0 up at half-time, my word. You might be winning, but that could all change. Yeah, absolutely. Do not let your performance levels drop. This is one of the performances of a lifetime from home here in Rome. Home in Rome. Oh, I like it. Oh, home in Rome. I mean, that feels like a series for FM20. Home in Rome. We just redo the same club, but in Rome. Do you reckon I could do a trip to Rome as a business expense if we do that? I need to talk to my accountant. But first, we need to get through this match. Curti is on a yellow card and not playing great. Manu's on a yellow card and is playing great. So guess which one's more likely to come off. We have got our winger, Grassi, on the bench as well. He's there as a game-changing option. I don't think we need to change this game. And we're going to bring Samuel on for Curti. Presedo is old and tired. We might have lost Sir Anthony Harris this summer. And you might not have got to play at Wembley, Sir Mick. But Sir Mick Powell, the man who made his debut for us 15 years ago in the Evo Stick Northern Premier League Division 1 East, and has never left. He didn't play a game at all for us last year in the league. He's never left. Has played nearly 400 league games, scored over 200 goals for us in all competitions, and he never left. Mick Powell is playing for home in Europe. And I couldn't be happier. Imagine if he scores a goal. We will break YouTube if Sir Mick Powell grabs a goal in this game. He hasn't scored for years. I don't know why we still expect it to happen. I've offered him out to conference clubs this summer and no one wanted him because he does want to leave, but we've got to give him the opportunity to go out there and do his thing one more time on a European stage. Van der Horst can come on for Harrison, and just please, Sir Mick Powell. Oh, Kano's injured. Sir Mick Powell is up front on his own. This is a problem because we are operating on far fewer strikers this year. For now, anyway, we're still in the market for one. But with Kano injured, Adrio's already injured. It's problematic. Van der Horst with the corner. Samuel chasing across to it. Sir Mick Powell is in the middle. Just please find Sir Mick Powell. Bishop. Powell is lurking. Bishop hits the crossbar. Powell's not aware of what's going on there. The Sir Mick Powell of old, the one who used to play football, he would have tucked away that rebound without any hesitation. But he's just so out of practice, bless his cotton socks. But we've come to Rome, we've beaten Lazio, and Sir Mick Powell's in the team. And we're doing it with 10 men. What a result. What a night for Cambridgeshire football. I think home's in Cambridgeshire. It probably is in Cambridgeshire. There's a chance it could be Northamptonshire. Doesn't matter. We just won the match, and that was sensational. And hopefully we'll win the second leg as well. And hopefully Kano's not got a proper injury, or we really, really need to go and sign a new striker as a matter of urgency. Kano, fiddlesticks. Right, I'm going to say this quietly because I don't want any other clubs to listen, but I think we've found our new striker, Marino. Is currently at Bayern Munich. He's a 25-year-old Brazilian former under-20 international. He's better than everyone we've currently got. He's a pressing forward, but he costs 40 million quid. Now, we don't have 40 million quid. We wasted it all on a goalkeeper because I'm an idiot. However, they have accepted a loan offer for us where we only have to pay 30% of his wages for the next year. I mean, that's still a pretty significant wage, but you know, he's scored goals for Brighton in the Premier League last year. Just cross our fingers that we managed to get him in on loan, and then if he's good, we'll buy him next summer when hopefully he fires us back into Europe again. Don't tell anyone about him. Balls. This wasn't in the plan. Marvin Samuel's an important part of our team. We're going to need to sign a new midfielder. I hate release clauses, but no one will sign for us without one. Can I have Torres back now? Right, you know the rules from last time as well. Shh. Sergio Gonzalez is a central midfield player at Athletic Bilbao. He's very good, better than everyone we've got at the moment, but he costs £40 million. But we've had a loan offer accepted for him. He was on loan at Blackburn last season, didn't actually do very well. But we're going to pretend that didn't happen. He's played lots of games in La Liga. Don't tell anyone about him. I thought I was so clever. Marino doesn't want to come to us. What a monster. West Ham want him permanently. I mean, if we're selling Samuel, we could potentially buy him. Oh, so frustrating. Let's try and buy him on the Never Never. So 40 million quid, you reckon? Bet they won't want anywhere near. Oh, 53. I'm going to do some negotiations. Let's see if we can sign this guy permanently. Maybe we're still not a big enough club to be buying players from Bayern Munich for £50 million. He rejected the contract. Back to the drawing board when it comes to a striker. And we now need a striker and a midfielder. Right, transfer deadline day is in 1 week. There is more business still going on. We've just signed a young English left-back, Chris Deakin, 17-year-old, England under-21 international, from Sheffield United for just over £3.5 million, just because we don't have much in the way of English youngsters at the moment. So in light of the fact we're hopefully going to be playing in Europe fairly regularly, we need to bring in some young English players, 2-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. Don't expect to see him play this year, but hopefully we'll be pushing for a first-team spot soon. We are still trying to bring in a new midfielder and a new striker. Marvin Samuel looks like he is on his way to West Ham. Where's that midfielder gone? Sergio Gonzalez is still not in, so there'll be more transfer news in the next episode, I guess. But we've got the second leg of Lazio to deal with first, and hopefully we're going to book our spot in the next qualifying round for the Europa League. There's just the one change from the first tie. Kano injured, Adrio now fit again, so we've just swapped them over and swapped Presedo over to the other side because I think he's left-footed either, and Adrio's right-footed. Adrio playing as a complete forward rather than the advanced forward that Kano was. Adrio probably not fit enough to play the entire game. We have got Ollie Steer on the bench if need be. We don't have Mick Powell today. We've got Delhi Stevenson instead. Mick Powell was a novelty act. You got his one European game. It's what you all wanted. He was never going to score in Europe. He hasn't scored a goal for about 4 years. But fingers crossed we can negotiate our way past Lazio, which, I mean, that would be an incredible achievement in itself. Although the board are expecting me to reach the group stage of the Europa League. I don't think they saw the draw, but that was their expectation that came out after everything was announced. They're also expecting a mid-table Premier League finish and deep runs in both of the domestic cups. I don't think they realise we're still only home. As much as they're backing me fantastically, they can't back me to the point where I can sign a squad that can do that in one go. I think we need to pick our battles, and domestic cups, if we do against all odds make it into the Europa League Europa League group stages, we are playing the youth team in both domestic cups because we can't compete in more than 2 competitions. That's insane. Riviere trying to get the crossover. I'm still expecting him to leave once someone hits his release clause, but luckily nobody has yet. And with the centre-backs, we've got 5 very good centre-backs. So I'm still expecting Inter to come in for Tom Noble, but they haven't yet. They're still chasing him, or they're still wanting him apparently. But I'm waiting for them to hit his release clause, and they haven't. So we might end up with 5 good centre-backs. Presedo has just got his first goal for the club. It's 1-0 to home on the night, 3-0 on aggregate, and that's what we signed Mauro Presedo to do. Just a little bit of experience. He's obviously been there, done that with European football before. He knows exactly what this is all about. Come straight in as a team leader, and fingers crossed will be exactly the player that we needed to bring in, just to add a little bit of experience in situations like this, because as we saw in the FA Cup semi-final last year, which didn't happen, but I've heard rumours, sometimes we're a little bit naive and a little bit silly. Just carry on with don't let your performance levels drop. We've got 45 minutes. We've got less than 10,000 people have turned up for a competitive match against Lazio. You people don't deserve a Premier League football team. This is ridiculous. Manu to Adrio. It's almost as if we were talking about going to Rome being a nice trip for the middle of July. It's almost as if the Lazio fans don't see a trip to Milton Keynes on a Thursday night in July as appealing as we saw it the other way around. We've won a penalty. Prasado with the chance to grab his second of the game and really put the tie beyond doubt. If we go 4-0 up, that's just madness. And Prasado does score because that's what we've paid for with him. Goals. And it's 2-0 to Home on the night, 4-0 on aggregate. And apparently the Serie A just isn't any good anymore, because this is a team much closer to Champions League qualification through their league than we are through our league, and we're obviously just better than they are. I thought in the first leg we might have just got away with it a little bit, but 2-0 in both games with Lazio not even competing, we're just a better team than they are, which I guess shows just how strong the Premier League is. Having said all that, Lazio are in and have scored, so we probably need to make sure we don't throw it away. Now I've done my "we're better than you" speech. They were probably listening, and that's all they needed to motivate themselves to sort their lives out. It's a first goal conceded for the new keeper as well, whose name escapes me. What's his name? What's our new goalkeeper's name? We'll have a look. I'll learn his name soon. Spend £53 million on a wonder kid goalkeeper, the best young goalkeeper in the world, and I don't know what he was called. No idea. Saidi, there you go. See, I know him. I've heard of him. I remember spending all that money on him. Lazio are in again here. This is worrisome now because I have done the speech. I feel like I've done the speech a little bit too early. Let's make some substitutions. Maybe a final appearance for Marvin Samuel coming up, because Curti, I mean, that's the worry with Samuel leaving. I'm not yet convinced by Curti. He's had 2 pretty poor performances. We don't have anyone to come on for Manu. This is where Traore being still around would have been handy. But you know what we have got? We've only got a blooming winger. So let's get him on there, playing on the wing. I mean, he is a right midfielder rather than a winger. But let's get him on. Get him on the right-hand side of midfield. What's the worst that could happen if we do that? Have we got anyone who can drop back on the left? Adrio can drop back on the left. So can Prasado. In fact, can we put Prasado out there? We should probably leave Prasado up front. Stick Adrio out there. Or even just stick him like there. That seems to make sense. Bit lopsided, but it does. It changes things up a little bit, gives us an opportunity to have a look at Grassi, and should make us a little bit more defensively solid, you would think. We've dropped a player deeper, and it's 2-2, and I'm messing with the system when there's Europa League football at stake. I don't want to see. Right, hopefully Grassi's going to be a superstar and just create a goal for us now. Adrio's not playing very well. Right. Ollie Steer could come on for him, but I think in the circumstances we're going to bring Van der Horst on for him, and we're going to go to 3 at the back, if I can get them back there. So you need to be covering. Okay, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. Expect to see mutant formations like this occasionally in Europe this season, as I try to force our one winger into the team. I'm actually throwing it away with stupid systems, aren't I? Oh my word. You lot are going to destroy me. I don't want to see. Tighten up. Oh, we're not better than you, honest. Forget the I'm better than you speech. We've got a flat back 5 and a holding midfielder. Surely we can't mess this up. Sands and Lee are just knocking it. No! Just get the ball at the other end. It's one of you. Grassi, there you go. We've actually seen him touch the ball now. Riviere plays it forward to Prasado, who's now up on his own, wins the header. We've got 5 minutes to try and cling on to this, as we've done our best, completely inspired by me, done our best to throw this away from such a strong... We were 4-0 up in this tie, and now... I don't want to play in Europe. I'm doing it deliberately, honest. Just, will somebody stop? Oh, no. Because now we're down, we're behind on away goals, and we can't... I want to go home. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Get up there as a target man. Oh my! Why didn't I just do that when I brought Grassy on? Just instead of having Manu there, put Grassy there. Why did we sign Grassy? Scapegoat time. Oh my word! What have I done? Oh, I don't want to see. Cannot believe this has happened. Cannot believe I've just done that. Well, we're not going to have European football in our way this season. Oh, I cannot believe what I've just done. Sometimes when we have a lot of really good results, people say, how many times did you play that game, Kev? Or ask me if I've reloaded and stuff. Honestly, I ask you now if I was ever going to reload. I can't believe what I've just done. We were 4-0 up with half an hour to go. It's not even as if the game went wrong. I went wrong. I made that happen. That was absolutely my fault. And I don't want you to see. Well, we're going to play the rest of the transfer window now. Oh, it's horrible. I've got a tear in my eye. I think it's just because I've poked my thumb in there. I'm not actually upset. But I am really upset. Watch the transfer window go wrong now. Marvin Samuel might have stayed if we hadn't done what we just did. We're going to file that away with the FA Cup semi-final as things that never happened. But Samuel is now gone, which means we do have a lot of money to spend again. But we don't have a midfield. We've lost Torres and Samuel this summer and only brought in one additional midfielder. We also, of course, lost Lerick Fernandez. I might get on the phone to him. We've got nearly £20 million to spend. We've hopefully got a striker coming in. We desperately need a midfielder, though. More than we need the striker. A lot more than we need the striker. So, central midfield. Not defensive midfield. Central midfield. What have we got? What can we get? There's seriously slim pickings. Oh. Well, this is a striker I was trying to sign. We had a £2.7 million offer accepted for him. But he's gone to Napoli instead. The transfer window is going wrong now. Watch him go on to be a world superstar. Is Marino still available? Can we try again now we've got money? Who's in for him? Brighton are trying to loan him. Right, if Brighton can loan him, surely we can loan him. We haven't got any money to... What's happening? How have we not got any money? Let me loan him. Right, you want 30%. I mean, he's turned us down before. But why on earth would he go to Brighton when he could come and play for... When he could come and play for us in Europe, I was going to say. I remember. If he'd have been with us, we might have stayed in Europe. It's his own fault. Right, fingers crossed we can get him. We've got a midfielder that we're after from West Ham as well. We've also still got that other lone midfielder. So hopefully we get Gonzalez. Marino would be brilliant. We've got this guy who we've had an offer accepted by West Ham for, which, I mean, it's fine. He's not really any better than Samuel was, but it's a body in midfield. I'm conscious of how close that deadline day is approaching, and we only have Curti and what's his face? I can't remember anything. I am officially on tilt, by the way. I can't do this. I cannot believe what just happened. I'm going to do something really dumb now. and it's the fault of Lazio. So anything that happens for the rest of this episode is not my fault. Right, it's all coming back together again. Gonzalez is in on loan for the season. I feel like I'm doing Costas' job for him, bringing in a loan player. He's not good enough to go straight into the team, but that's fine. That's not what he's for. He's an extra body, and he's all right. So one midfielder down. We need one more, and then a striker would still be nice. Managing such a small club can be so frustrating at times. Seeing long-term targets go to teams that we're going to be competing with. Florentino Lewis has signed for Huddersfield. Marino has gone back to Brighton on loan again. I have got a couple of players to announce though, which I'll do in a... So new signing number 1, Emilio is our new striker. Can play complete forward, advanced forward, deep lying forward. 3-star current ability, 4-star potential, nothing special, but better than Ollie Steer, and that's exactly what we needed. Kano, Presedo and Adrio are our 3 for the year, and we do now have Emilio as a backup. Steer is still here, but we're trying to move him on. Batella is still here as well, and this guy comes in from Atletico Madrid. Let's welcome him into the fray. And we've got another player come in as well, who's the midfielder we were looking at from West Ham. So let's just get this lot all into the squad. I'll double check in a second everybody's registered. But this is the other guy, Ronaldo Cha. How would you say that in Portuguese? Can also play as a defensive midfielder and on the left wing. So if we do decide to go and use Grossi, is that his name, on the right wing, we've got a guy to play on the left wing as well. 3-star current ability, so similar to Gonzalez. Not as good as what we've got, but we do have 4 decent Premier League quality central midfielders now, which is important. We've massively overpaid for him, but West Ham had us over a barrel. They ruined us by taking Samuel off us and then could set their price for him, and we kind of had to pay it. And they knew we had the money as well because they'd just given it to us. What's going on here? Is Costas not my director of football anymore? When did that happen? I shouldn't go on holiday. Apparently, we're trying to bring in a defensive midfielder, which... I mean, that would do. That's a position we need to strengthen. So, good work, David Moss, not Costas. That would explain why Costas suddenly got better. Oh, word. I just want to re-record everything from the start of I've done this and the transfer special from yesterday all in one video. I just want to re-record everything. Just go back to the end of last season and start again. It's been a disaster. What a signing Pepe Herrero has been, though. Good work, David Moss, 23-year-old Spanish under-21 defensive midfielder. Segundo volante or deep block. What's a segundo volante? Have I got to learn how to use that? 4-star current ability, much better than Philip Harrison. A huge upgrade. Was on loan at West Ham last year, Leeds the year before. On loan from Real Madrid. That's a good signing in that defensive midfield position where we did need a player. We'd identified all summer that we needed a player there. Let's make sure we get him registered. And in fact, just make sure that everybody who needs to be registered is registered. Kyle Taylor's not registered. Peter Turner's on his way out on loan. Ollie Steer. Is Kyle Taylor's Scottish, isn't he? In my head, he was homegrown. Right, I was going to drop Montebello, but he's homegrown as well. Even Sir Mick Powell, homegrown. I can't get Taylor into this team. Oh, actually, I can. I think. Yeah, that still works, doesn't it? But it means we don't have Bogdan. Bogdan not being there isn't a problem. In fact, we should probably try and move Bogdan on quickly. Have we got time? We've got time. Deadline day shenanigans. Let's move Bogdan on. Where is he? So far down. Right, so he's unregistered. He's unregistered. I think we can... No, I don't want to offer Taylor out Turner out permanently. In fact, Bogdan, to be honest, is still quite young. Let's offer him out on loan and see if anyone wants to take him on loan for the season. There we go. There might still be more business yet if we sell Steer. Well, that brings us to the end of the transfer window. Just as a little bit of a summary, because I know it's been over 2 videos. It's probably not over fully yet either, although our transfer window is closed. Peter Turner is probably going out to Nice on loan. He needs to, because he's not in our Premier League squad. Bogdan is on his way out on loan as well. And Ollie Steer is probably going to be leaving permanently for £10 million. But none of those transfers went through before the deadline closed. They're all transfers to clubs whose deadlines are still open. So we'll keep an eye on those ones. But the summary of our summer, I know it looks like we've decided to bankrupt Holme. Context, remember I was given nearly £80 million to spend. We've sold £60 million with another £10 million coming in. So actually, we've got a net spend of £70 million once Steer goes, which is less than our original budget was. So don't panic. And I think we have upgraded the squad, albeit in a weird sort of roundabout way. We've got rid of a lot of fringe players: Torres, Traore, Matondo, Brown, Gregson. We lost a player we didn't want to lose in the shape of Samuel. But we have strengthened in key areas. Pagano we needed as a permanent left back. We needed a proper keeper. We've now got one. We've got some very good centre backs. Midfield, I think, is stronger overall with Curti coming in. I would have liked a more impressive new attacking signing than Emilio, but he might prove me wrong. We signed 2 Spanish strikers last year who both proved me wrong. The onus is now on Emilio to make it 3 in a row. And I think I'm pretty happy with that squad. This is going to be the team for the first league game of the season tomorrow. We're going to pretend the Europa League never happened, because it never happened. So this is the team that will be out there for tomorrow's episode against Bournemouth, and I think it looks like a pretty strong side. So Saidi in goal, back four of Pagano, Sands, Van der Horst and Riviere, with new boy Herrero at the base of the midfield, Bishop and Curti ahead of him, Manu behind Presedo and Adrio. It looks to me like a very good team, and hopefully we'll get off to a decent start to the Premier League season in tomorrow's video. But if you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.